Rent's been on the rise since before the pandemic, but a new trend could give renters a slight advantage. On this Wired Wednesday, we check in with GV Wire's news director, Bill McEwen, to talk about the kind of deals that could be out there for renters. Bill, good morning.
Good morning. We're used to paying more in these inflationary times, but as apartment construction has increased in the Fresno and Clovis area with 2,500 units either completed or coming over the past couple of years. We're seeing a trend now where experts in the industry advise tenants when you go in to look at an apartment, you're offered a deal, make a counteroffer, whether it's a discount, let's say 400 or 500 off the first month's rent, or if you sign a long-term lease, maybe you could lose an entire month's rent. Also, there are other incentives available. So this is welcome news at this time.
For sure. You know, sometimes people go out looking and they're just looking. Do you, because of the way the market is right now and what you were just suggesting, is it recommended that people have more of a plan than just looking?
Well, I think if you should look and you should compare because there are options available. During the pandemic, at that time, things were really tight. People were just desperate for housing, and they would snap up what was ever there. Clearly, the landlords had the leverage in this situation. Now, I think tenants that are looking to move have options. And what's interesting to me is just that politically, this comes at a time in which people have been demanding rent control. The Fresno City Council, from the most conservative member to the most liberal member, they've resisted that urge. And I think that's a smart thing because all studies about rent control have shown that it leads to less housing. It drives up the cost of housing for people that aren't under rent control. And the fact that these new apartments coming online is leveling off the prices, even providing incentives in some cases. That's an example of how the market works. Now, of course, these apartments are primarily in North Fresno and in Clovis. They're in the, what you would call the higher end of apartments, but in the city of Fresno, there's also been a tremendous increase in the amount of affordable housing that has been built. And so that's very welcome for middle class and for those living right around the poverty line.
Bill, I only have a couple seconds left, but I just want to know, is there one segment that is best for renters right now? Apartments, homes?
Well, there's deals in housing. If you can afford those interest rates. The higher interest rates has driven up the cost of buying a new home, but all the builders are offering incentives right now. So again, it pays to check around. You're always better if you can afford it to buy a home because you're building your equity. It's a great financial transaction for you and your family. But at the same time, if you can't quite make it to purchase a new or a resale home, there are good deals right now for apartments.
All right, that sounds like some good news, and we'll end on that. Bill McEwen with GV Wire, thank you for joining us on this Wired Wednesday morning.